Let us begin our discussion on the basics of front-end development, a crucial part of creating web applications. We will cover how to design and implement interactive user interfaces for web applications, making them engaging. Today, we are diving into the fundamentals of HTML5, the backbone of modern web applications. We will explore how HTML5 structures content effectively for today's dynamic web environments. First, let's discuss semantic elements, which bring more meaning and structure to our web content. These elements, like header and footer, improve readability for both humans and search engine optimization. You can also define distinct content sections using tags such as article and section for better organization. Next, HTML5 significantly improved multimedia support, making it easier to embed media. You can directly integrate audio and video content using the dedicated audio and video tags. This feature completely eliminates the previous dependency on third-party plugins like Flash for media playback. HTML5 also brought significant enhancements to forms, improving user input and experience. It introduces convenient new input types such as email, date, telephone, and search fields. These new input types greatly enhance user input validation and the overall user experience on forms. Finally, HTML5 provides client-side storage options, allowing data to be stored locally. You can utilize local storage and session storage for persistent data storage directly within the browser. These storage mechanisms allow you to store data directly within the user's web browser for later use. Today, we are exploring CSS3 fundamentals, focusing on enhancing styling with advanced layouts and effects. We will learn how to use CSS3 to create stunning visual designs and powerful responsive layouts. First, let us look at the powerful layout systems CSS3 offers for arranging content. Well, Flexbox is perfect for creating one-dimensional layouts, helping align and distribute content effectively. And Grid is ideal for building powerful two-dimensional responsive designs, offering precise control over layout. Next, CSS3 introduces robust features for creating smooth and engaging animations on web pages. These features allow you to create smooth UI effects and dynamic visual changes without JavaScript. You can implement transitions for gradual property changes, making elements animate smoothly over time. Media queries are a cornerstone of responsive design, allowing styles to adapt to different devices. They enable you to apply adaptive styling rules specifically tailored for various screen sizes and orientations. This ensures a truly responsive design, providing an optimal experience across mobile, tablet, and desktop. Finally, CSS3 offers more efficient selectors for targeting HTML elements with precision. These selectors allow you to target HTML elements more precisely for applying very specific styling rules. Using efficient selectors helps improve styling specificity and makes your CSS code more maintainable. Today, we are diving into JavaScript fundamentals, focusing on adding interactivity and dynamic behavior to web pages. We will explore how JavaScript brings web pages to life, making them responsive and engaging for users. First, let's understand how to declare variables and work with different data types in JavaScript. You can declare variables using let, const, and var, each with specific scoping rules. JavaScript allows you to work with various data types, including primitive types, arrays, and objects. Next, we will cover functions, which are essential for organizing and reusing your JavaScript code. Functions allow you to define reusable blocks of code for performing specific tasks or operations. This includes modern ES6 plus arrow functions, which offer a more concise and readable syntax. Event handling is crucial for creating interactive web experiences that respond to user actions. You can respond to various user interactions, such as on-click events or form-on-submit events. Effective event handling is key to creating dynamic and engaging user experiences on your web pages. Finally, we will discuss DOM manipulation, which lets JavaScript interact with the web page's structure. This involves interacting with the document object model to dynamically modify web page content and structure. Key methods for DOM manipulation include document.getElement by ID and query selector. Today, we are exploring the front-end synergy, understanding how HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript combined. We will see how these three core technologies work together to build compelling and interactive web applications. HTML5, as we know, forms the foundational structure of any web page. It is primarily responsible for structuring the content on your web page, defining its layout. HTML5 also defines the semantic meaning of different parts of your content, improving accessibility. Next, CSS3 comes into play to give our web pages their visual appeal and style. CSS3 is used to style all the visual elements on the page, controlling their appearance. It also ensures the responsiveness of the design, making sure it looks good on all screen sizes. Finally, JavaScript adds the dynamic behavior and interactivity that users expect from modern web applications. JavaScript adds interactivity to the web page, allowing users to engage with elements and content. It also handles the dynamic logic, enabling real-time updates and complex user interactions. Today, we are focusing on the core principles of responsive design essential for modern web development. We will learn how to adapt web applications to any device seamlessly, providing an optimal user experience. First, let's discuss the mobile-first approach, a fundamental strategy in responsive design. This principle means you design for the smallest screens first, then progressively scale up for larger devices. Next, flexible grids are crucial for creating layouts that can adapt fluidly to different screen dimensions. You should use percentage-based widths for elements, ensuring fluid layouts that adjust automatically. Media queries are a powerful CSS3 feature that enables conditional styling based on device characteristics. They allow you to apply specific styles and rules based on the dimensions of the user's screen. Finally, accessibility is a critical aspect of responsive design, ensuring inclusivity for all users. It is important to ensure usability across diverse devices and to meet various user needs and preferences. Today, we are comparing Bootstrap versus Tailwind CSS, two popular frameworks for responsive design. We will explore their features to help you choose the right framework for your responsive development needs. Let's start by looking at Bootstrap, a widely adopted framework for building responsive web pages. Bootstrap provides ready-to-use, pre-styled components which can accelerate development significantly. It is generally easier for beginners to pick up due to its comprehensive documentation and component library. Bootstrap enables very rapid UI development, letting you quickly assemble interfaces with minimal custom CSS. Now, let's turn our attention to Tailwind CSS, which offers a different approach to styling. Tailwind CSS follows a utility-first approach, providing low-level utility classes for styling. It is highly customizable, giving developers complete control over every aspect of their design. Tailwind CSS is known for fostering a modern, lightweight design aesthetic in web applications. Today, we are understanding arrow functions, a modern JavaScript feature for shorter, cleaner syntax. We will explore how arrow functions simplify code, making it more readable and efficient for developers. First, let us look at the traditional function syntax, which you might be familiar with. This traditional function syntax defines a reusable block of code to greet a user by their provided name. This code defines a function called greet that takes a name and returns a greeting string to the console. Now, let us compare that to the equivalent arrow function syntax for the same functionality. Here, an arrow function offers a more concise way to define the same greeting function, often preferred for brevity. This code uses a constant variable, greet, to store an arrow function which takes a name and prints a greeting. Arrow functions are particularly well suited for use in callbacks, making your code even more streamlined. This example shows arrow functions simplifying callbacks, like mapping numbers to their squares for cleaner, more readable code. This code maps an array of numbers to a new array where each number is squared using an arrow function. Today, we are exploring promises and async/await, modern patterns for handling asynchronous operations in JavaScript. We will learn how these features make asynchronous code more manageable, readable, and less prone to errors. First, let's understand how to create a basic promise to manage asynchronous tasks. This code creates a promise to simulate an asynchronous data fetch resolving or rejecting after a 2-second delay. This code initializes a promise that simulates fetching data, resolving with success or rejecting with an error after a delay. Next, let's see how async/await simplifies handling asynchronous operations, especially with the fetch API. Here, async and await simplify fetching posts from an API, making asynchronous operations appear synchronous and easier to manage. This code defines an asynchronous function to fetch posts from an API using await, then logs the data or any error. Async/await is also incredibly useful in backend development, such as with express.js. This server-side example uses async and await to efficiently fetch user data from a MongoDB database with robust error handling. This code defines an express.js route to asynchronously fetch users from the database and send them as JSON. Let us explore how JavaScript interacts with the document object model to create dynamic and responsive web experiences. We will cover how JavaScript manipulates the DOM and effectively responds to various user events. First, let's understand the methods available for selecting specific elements within the document object model. Well, document.getElementById allows you to select an element using its unique identifier. Document.querySelector helps you select the very first element that successfully matches a specific CSS selector. And document.querySelector all selects every single element that matches the provided CSS selector. Now, let's move on to how we can dynamically modify the content of these selected DOM elements. Text content allows you to change just the plain text within an element without affecting any HTML tags. Inner HTML updates an element's entire content, including the ability to insert new HTML tags and structures. Set attribute is used to modify an existing attribute of an element or add a completely new one. Next, we will look at how JavaScript handles various user interactions and events on a web page. Add Event Listener attaches a function that will automatically execute whenever a specified event occurs on an element. Common events include click, mouse over, key down, and submit, which are fundamental for interactive web pages. Event delegation is a technique that greatly enhances efficiency, especially when dealing with many dynamic elements. Here are the key takeaways from our discussion on front-end development basics. These essential concepts will form a strong foundation for your front-end development journey. HTML5 structures web content using semantic elements and provides robust multimedia support. CSS 3 significantly enhances styling capabilities, responsiveness, and visual animations. JavaScript is vital for adding interactivity and dynamic behavior to your web pages. Responsive design ensures web applications adapt to all screen sizes using frameworks like Bootstrap or Tailwind CSS. ES6 Plus features such as arrow functions, promises, and async await streamline asynchronous programming. DOM manipulation and event handling are crucial for building truly interactive user interfaces.